wish I didn't have done it. I'm praying on my bended knees. I wish I didn't have did it. If you know what I mean. I mean, I wish I shouldn't have said it. Words can be so unclean.
So with the dent that the pandemic had caused following the first album, how much time was dedicated to performing on the first album? Like, not on it, but performing that, touring on that.
In the beginning, it was so limited, but I will say that we did special performances. Like, didn't we play the Arcade Theater out in Faraday?
We tried to do the most, one of the first COVID-safe concerts out in Faraday, Louisiana. And after that, I believe, they got really strict with the rules. But we were safe and we were able to at least do some. But I think we stretched out the tour for that over, it was probably around 2 years or so. It was such a big collection of songs. We were able to hit so many, like we went to Switzerland and Germany. For some reason, they just are in love with the cowboy aesthetic of America. Like, when they think of America, they think the West and they think cowboys.
John Wayne.
Really?
So, over here in, the honky tonks where they want Southern rock, we're playing them this rockin' version, but over here we're able to play them these more things that they're attuned to. Like, they love Johnny Cash, they love all the old recordings, and half the albums are throwback.
Yeah.
So we were able to go over there and say, okay, well, now we've got pretty much two different markets that we can hit.
Sure.
Oh, what do you like? Do you like rockin' stuff? We'll hit that. Do you like the softer, more traditional stuff? We can hit that too. So it really opened up a lot more doors than just being singular.
One of the big doors is one of the artists we work with. During the pandemic, we met a country superstar in Switzerland named Florian Fox, who is a very authentic country guy, and it actually led to one of the singles off of Ready to Ride called Wasted Again. And
we dropped that, New Year's?
We dropped that New Year's night, and man, it's been our best single. It's actually, going back to what I was saying about my fear and about how I'm worried that the follow-up from both sides of the tracks may not live up. Well, so far on this album we have. Wasted Again on Spotify has been our biggest number, and once again, I'm the one saying, it's never going to work. Feels like, release it.
The single on Spotify is from the upcoming album?
Yes, it's an early single that we released because we're big into our music video content, and we're proud to say that me and Phil now film our own videos. And Phil, that was your first attempt at
Yeah, so essentially what we did was we said, okay, so we have all these songs. Basically what we're going to do is, we have all these strong songs, let's release them as singles, and then once we've released them and they're done, let's throw them on a record, and then when we're going out live, we can sell it this as, commemorative. Hey, you can only really get it from us. Here's our entire collection of songs. Otherwise, it's on, basically social media things to say, come see us play live.
Sure.
Come on out.
Yeah.
So we basically put out this one single where it's featuring Florian. So it's this, American / Swiss crossover, Euro-American thing where it's like, hey, it's on New Year's, it's Wasted Again. There's no better time to drink.
And I had this really cool idea that, New Year's night we can release it promotionally. We can release it here in America, but also we can release it in Switzerland, to where we which was very interesting on the time difference. But we basically released the song, man, and the numbers shot up to 49, 50,000 really quick. And
what's really funny is we're almost nervous to go back, because last year we went to Switzerland. We got a warm reception, but it was our first impression to a lot of these people. None of these people really heard of us. We were touring with our partner who, he's already dominated that little market over there.
Sure.
So we're touring with our partner, and these people are so nice and welcoming. Now he's calling us and telling us things like, oh, I played it for my birthday party to like 1,800 people, and everybody was singing along. So now we're almost like, we're going back this year.
And they're waiting.
What is it going to be like this time? Is it going to be, a completely different experience if people are going, oh, hey, you're the people from that song.
Sure. Yeah.
It's going to be some kind of world.
I could call us the Soggy Bottom Boys. No, I'm just checking.
Yeah, honestly though, I mean, I don't get the impression that you're in this to pander to the court of public opinion. I think it's
not really, man.
It's been self-expression from jump. So in the end, no matter what you come out with and no matter what the reception is, you're going to be satisfied. Honestly, if you look in the mirror, satisfied. You can have a number one hit on the radio and not be happy with it. You know what I'm saying?
That's very true, man. And I've learned through the process of getting over that fear of, look, man, this record and these collection of songs is just where I'm at in my life. And at the very least, I can say it's honest. Next record may be entirely different. I might be in an entirely different place. But like you said, looking in the mirror, I can honestly say it's an honest, expression of who I am. And the success we're having from it is great, but that's not why I write it in the first place.
Sure.
I write it to get it out there, and maybe it helps people who are in similar situations,
Tell us about Thailand. I thought that was pretty cool, and I'm glad that I didn't realize y'all had a week. I thought I was catching y'all as soon as you came back, so I'm glad y'all had some time.
Hey, you're catching us awake, man. That's about the best thing.
That's the best part about it, So, how did it come about? Was this the same guy from Florida that ended up being your booking agent? How long have you been with the guy?
Man, it's a fairly new management thing here. We've been with him probably about 6 months to a year now, huh, Phil?
Probably about, I'd say closer to 6 months. We met him and we were kind of on this let's see how this works. Because if you're going with management, that's a big part of your business. You don't want to just jump on somebody. It's almost like a boyfriend girlfriend relationship. You're feeling people out. You're seeing, what kind of rapport you have, what personality, how you work with this person. And we did a gig for them up in Ohio, basically fundraising for some veterans up there at the VFW. And no, I'm sorry, it was the American Legion Hall.
Oh, the American Legion Hall in Williamsburg, Ohio. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like, wow, this is smooth. I really like the way you run things. Yeah. Let's work together. And then I believe y'all went on a country cruise, and he had been going back and forth to Thailand for off and on for 22 years. It was one of his favorite spots. He's like, I gotta show y'all around this wild, crazy place. And
he wasn't lying.
No, he was not. So he was basically like, I got connections, let's go. Come on, I'll get you in some of these venues. And it's like, we'll go see what the music scene is like so we can bring the band a little later. And God, what an education.
This is going to be a whole segment of this podcast, man. The way it started is like Phil said, we went on this country superstar cruise. Mm-hmm. And, we were on there with Randy Owen from Alabama, who we opened for, but also we were there with Neil McCoy and people like Mo Bandy and all these great classic country artists. And all of a sudden my manager's like, I'm on this cruise, man. He comes up to me, he's like, Will, I signed you up for the country superstar competition on this cruise. And I'm like, great, thanks for the preparation. Yeah. And I placed second or third in it. And from there, he calls me up and he's like, I don't know about the whole band, Will, but what do you think about a duo tour with you and Phil coming to Bangkok, Thailand? And I'm like, are they going to want to hear country or rock in Bangkok, Thailand? Like, absolutely.
That was going to be my next question.
Man, you would never think it, man.
I wouldn't know what to expect.
Man, it was out of sight, man. We fly for 27 hours. And we get off the plane and we go through all the customs and all this stuff. We're here and we start performing. And the reaction from these people was staggering. We ended our first song and I was, once again, nervous. I don't know how we're going to go over. I don't even know if they know what I'm saying. Right. And we would end a song and it would just waves of applause. They're losing their minds, man.
Such beautiful people over there.
Wonderful people, man. Just generous and kind. And from there, one of the places that sticks out to me is this place called the Golden Giraffe. Mm-hmm. It's a wonderful, live music venue there. And man, we went there thinking, hey, we're American artists. We play blues and all this stuff. It's a lot of blues played in that club. And some of the blues players and some of the musicians in general in this club,
dude, they were so tight.
Man, they'll put a lot of artists to shame, man. They were on top of their game, man.
And these were locals?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And me and Phil, the first night we were like, we got this. The second night we were sitting there, I'm like, and he's like,
there was this drummer
bring it.
Who just had this touch. It was amazing. It was one of those things where you're watching all these bands cycle in and out, and there's a lot of talent, but all of a sudden in every band you're like, that dude right there is the guy who's shining. And it was hard to pick sometimes. They would have a monstrous drummer playing next to this sax player who's ripping it, because apparently they had We didn't notice they have a jazz scene, a huge jazz scene.
I was going to
Huge
mention
jazz,
that in
dude.
Asia. It's not Thailand,
huge.
but I'm a fan of like this 70s era
Yeah.
jazz that comes from there. And you can go find some of those albums, which I wouldn't be able to recount or pronounce, but phenomenal.
Well,
Phenomenal. Just
apparently-
amazing.
So like Thailand has a king, right? And the current king is like a younger guy, but his dad, who had passed away, was a huge fan of jazz. We were in one of the beach cities, and they had like these pictures of him on the street lights, and it said King of Jazz, and he's basically rocking the sax up there like Bill Clinton.
Nice.
And
Yeah,
you
man.
go in a cafe and they have jazz playing. It's not top 40, it's jazz.
It's
like,
like bebop and like the authentic jazz. Not as much smooth jazz as it is, you know, like Miles Davis. And
Sure.
so it's a lot
Herbie
of New
Hancock.
Orleans.
You
It's a
know.
lot of New Orleans where you have all these like jazz cats walking in and being like, "Oh, I'm a jazz dude, but I'm gonna play blues tonight."
Sure.
I'm even gonna name drop, man. We were there, and our manager tells me, he goes, "Will, I lined up a band to back you and Phil, you know, the Golden Giraffe." Because ironically, we went there sitting in, hanging out, and we ended up getting like 2 headlining shows from it. Like, as the crowd was just so. We had our other booked tours, but this particular club was the highlight of their live music, and we got 2 headlining nights there. Mm-hmm. Well, I was like, man, you can't just throw a drummer on us and just, you know. And my manager was like, yeah, I can. Man, I'm gonna drop the name. His name was Huran.
Yeah, who ran? Yeah.
And he was one of the best drummers. Seth Jones is our personal drummer, and he's one of the best I've ever heard. But this guy came in cold and just, man, one of the best drummers, other than Seth, that I think we've played with. Would you agree to
It's
that?
just one of
Yeah.
those- It's just one of those people where when you lose. What is it? You're only as strong as your weakest link, and if your weakest link is your drummer, like you're done.
You're done,
like,
man.
there's nothing you
That's
The
can
an
do.
foundation's
understatement, yeah.
crumbling, man.
Yeah.
But it was like, it's one of those things where like you hear somebody like, oh, can I sit in, or I'm playing with you guys, and they play like 2 seconds of something. You're like, okay, this is either gonna be a really good night, or you know, or you have the reaction like, like we have a lot of things to do.
Yeah.
Thankfully, like some of the talent over there, they had all kinds of people flying. What was really cool about it was this giant international mixing pot. So I mean, like you had all kinds of people. I mean, we had tons of expats. Like there was a lot of British people,
Yeah.
Australian people there. There was also a really big German tourist population,
Yeah.
and then there were like
Interesting.
Asian tourists as well. So I mean, you have Japanese people and Chinese people coming in. So we literally, they would have their band gigs sometimes were almost like jams. So they'd have a band playing, they're like, oh, we got some friends here tonight, they're a band from the Philippines, get on up here. And the entire band changes out, and all of a sudden this band
Wow.
from the Philippines is rocking a couple of songs.
And killing
they are, oh dude.
Killing it,
They had
man.
this little
Killing it.
bass player, and he was jumping up and down and playing crazy jazz fills on this funk tune.
Nice.
Oh, it was beautiful to watch.
Man,
awesome.
the first time I knew that we were doing okay there, I walked in the first night, and we had already finished our gig, and we just kind of went to this late night jam session. And our manager was like, "Hey, get up and jam with this group." And the guitar player for the band like looked at me and was like, I was like, Well, the second night when I got done after the first night, I came in the second night, and he's like, and I was like, okay, I think I did good here, you know.
You made a name for yourself without
Yeah.
saying a word. That's cool.
Yeah, man.
Are there plans to go back over there?
Yeah,
Oh,
September.
With a full band?
September.
It's like,
When is this second release? I forgot the name, I'm sorry.
We are currently
Ready to Ride.
Ready to Ride.
It's like the first single dropped, you know, like I said, we're basically cutting singles off of it. We
Sure.
will group it all together as an album to be
Right.
sold. But the first single dropped in January, and we're currently making plans to drop the next one sometime in the early summer. A lot of this stuff is very hard rocking, and quite frankly, we want to do it when the sun is shining. The winter has been really weird here lately. We also wanted to shoot a lot of videos while we were over in Thailand. That was one of the things that we really wanted to take an opportunity for, is we've been working really hard on studying cinematography to make sure that if we're shooting videos ourselves, they come out professional.
Sure.
So we were like, we're going to a place where, you know, a few of our friends are going, a few artists around here had the opportunity to go. Let's really make the most of it. I mean, it's pretty much New York City over there in the city aesthetic.
Right.
And then we got to go to a little beach town too, so we had a lot of different environments to shoot.
Go
in.
ahead, yeah.
So there's a lot of production planning. Basically, okay, now we're back from Thailand. We got a lot of editing to do.
Perfect.
And we've got a lot of finalizing to do. So we're estimating an early summer release, but we're also trying to balance it out with like I said, we're two songwriters, so like, you know, we're working on his stuff, we're working on, I have solo stuff coming out as well. We're basically two songwriters who are practically best friends after the stuff that we've been through.
Sure.
You know, and a couple of the things that I'm really excited about with this album, Phil touched upon some of that, is that we're kind of taking the fans along the journey, almost like a documentary. So
Yeah.
the upcoming singles were filmed parts here, but mostly in like Los Angeles, California. We filmed in Thailand. You know, even Wasted Again was filmed partly here in America and partly in Switzerland. So we're kind of like letting the fans travel with us through our videos and our
Yeah, that's
social
awesome.
media content. You know, kind of see the world through our eyes, kind of thing. You know.
Sure.
So, and I'm very excited about that. And the other thing I'm excited about with this album is there's going to be a lot of personal material. You know, one of the singles that's dropping is a tune called 12 O'Clock in Texas that was co-written. Me and Phil wrote together while we were on tour in Texas, and it's telling the story about my brother and how he was, you know, here but no longer here. And that's going to be I personally think going to be one of the strongest singles off of this collection of work. A little darker, but maybe a little bit more relatable too.
Sure.
You know?
Tell everybody where they can find all of your media, because you're pumping out some videos as well as the albums. Let everybody know where they can find everything.
Well, first, you can check me out personally and keep up with us at my website, willwesleymusic.com, and at willwesleymusic. But you can also find my singles on Spotify, Apple, really any of your favorite online digital sources. We're everywhere. We're worldwide these days, man.
YouTube, everything's at Will Wesley Music
Okay.
and at Bill Chandler Music. We're two people in two different bands. I mean, we have a big tour band, this nasty tour band. We take all around the stage.
And we play in each other's band.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's like, some days we'll go out and be like, hey, we're gonna shoot the Will Wesley Music video, and I'll be guitar player. Sometimes we'll shoot the Bill Chandler video, and Will's right there still rocking a rock and roll cowboy hat.
I think what's funny is I guess you can call us both always playing the boss. In my band, he's the music director. So if anyone's like, well, Will, I don't know, talk to Phil. In his band, I'm the music director. So, well, Phil, I don't agree. Talk to Will.
Nice.
But yeah, we kind of got this different vision of like Phil in his original music, he fronts the band, but it's the same band.
Yeah.
And vice versa with my group.
A lot of people that we find in this business, you know, a lot of people are very nice, but some people in their performance and in their little thing where they are king, they want the spotlight. Sometimes people are a little weird about that.
Yeah.
We don't care. So we realize that there's a time to be in the spotlight, and there's almost some kind of relief of stepping out of that spotlight.
I like to time off, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it beckons back to when I was talking about if you were smart enough to delegate some duties, because a lot of people are trying to spearhead their project from start to finish themselves, and they'll just take the whole thing down with them, because it's all encompassing. It's going to swallow you alive.
It will,
You can
man.
only do so much.
Yeah, I mean, all power to them for trying, man. But in my personal experience, I need the help.
Yeah, I understand 100%, believe me, from where I'm sitting.